All right, so now that we have her out, we're going to do another session. Come on, Kai. This session, I'm going to work on some of that engagement training. With engagement training, we're working on getting the dog conditioned to the markers. So her markers is yes, where I bring the reward to her, and then free, where I move back to get the reward. Very good. And then we also have a secondary marker. When I first started teaching a secondary terminal marker, which means go get the reward, I just tell the dog, get it, and then I toss the treat. That's how I start. Now, I want the dog to know that get it means they can go get a treat that's available if I had one off to the side. And I start introducing that when I start doing the stay command. I'm not doing stay with her right now. I separate that from normal obedience because stay is usually pretty boring. And we don't want to make our training sessions boring. Good girl, very nice. Yes. So I'm marking when she looks at me. Free. Very good. The mark, the yes or the free, happens the exact moment she does the behavior. Yes, I'm trying to capture. Whether that's her sitting down or that's her looking at me. Free. Good. Now, often when people are trying to do engagement training, they end up being very boring. They'll just stand and they'll wait for the dog to look. The dog might get distracted and then they won't do anything. They'll just let the dog be distracted. If your dog starts to become distracted, you have to be more entertaining than what's going on in the rest of the environment. Free. Very good. Also, when we do this, it's good to switch hands. Yes. So I've been rewarding mostly with my right hand. Free. So now I want to switch it up and reward her with my left hand. But I can still incorporate some of the other stuff that we were doing earlier today. So I can throw a spin in. Very nice. I could work on that sit in the heel position. Free. I can even mark the behavior when she's in the heel position looking up at me. So it doesn't always have to be, yes, the dog directly in front of us and looking right up at us. Free. But I do like them to look because that's why we call it engagement training. If I have a dog engaged with me and they're paying attention, it's going to make it much easier for me to train them. Free. Very nice. We'll throw a couple more of the secondary terminal marker. Remember, secondary terminal marker means release plus reward. Get it, but go and get the reward. And that's just the way that I like to start it, where I toss the treat off to the side. And then the primary terminal marker, free, means come to me to get the reward. Now, you don't have to use this many markers. Her owner is using a lot of markers because he's doing more advanced training with her, with the service dog training. But if you're training your dog and you want basic obedience, one marker is more than enough. If you're going to use one marker, make it the terminal marker. So terminal marker, free, means release plus reward. Now, when I first start teaching this, I say the marker, free, and then I move back, encouraging the dog to come to me to get the reward. Very good, sweetie. The continuation marker just means the dog's going to get a reward. It doesn't release them from anything. And her continuation marker is yes. So when she hears yes, she knows she's going to get a reward, but it doesn't change her circumstances, meaning it doesn't release her from anything. It's just letting her know that she's going to receive a reward. So if she was in a stay position, she would have to maintain that position. Come on, baby. So now all I'm doing is a backwards follow exercise. I'm using the leash to keep her focused. Backwards follow, I just walk back and I encourage her to come to me and get the reward nice and close, and I can stop and make her sit. Free. If I'm using one marker and I'm using just the terminal marker, the reason why I would use just free, the terminal marker, is because I can use that anytime I'm marking a behavior. And if I do want to work on duration, so if I am working a stay, that's usually when I would use the continuation marker, meaning I could take her, I could put her on a place stay, and then I could walk away and I can tell her yes, and I can come back and give her a reward. I could walk away, yes, I can come back and give her a reward. Now, if I wasn't using a continuation marker and I was only using the terminal marker, free, of course we wouldn't be able to say free and work on the stay because we would be releasing the dog from the stay. So instead of using the yes or the free when I'm working on a stay, I would just use verbal praise. I'd go, good girl, nice job. I'd build some more distance. Good, very nice. She's checking outside, seeing if there's anything going on, which there isn't. And so I can still give the dog feedback, but then I'm just using praise instead of marking the behavior, which is just as effective. So if you're ever wondering, how many markers should I use? Should I use 2 markers? Should I use 3? Should I use 1? 1 is great. If you're doing basic pet obedience, that's your sit down, come, heel, spin, center, stay. One marker is really all you need. I like using 2 most of the time. Every now and then I'll do 3, but for the most part, 2 is usually enough for a lot of the dogs that I train, at least the way that I like to train. Come on, baby. Very good. And right now, since she's just starting to train with me, she's getting all her food. So you might be wondering what I'm feeding her. I call these treats, but free. It's just her food. So this is freeze-dried food. She's on a good diet. And so I'm giving her her meals while training. And that's what she's getting. She's not getting sugar-filled treats that are going to be unhealthy for her, or they're going to increase her pay grade. And that's something you want to keep in mind too. You don't want to give your dog very, very high value treats, because when you do, when you go back to their kibble or whatever it is that you're using, freeze-dried, it's not going to be as good to them as the other food is. And then they're not going to want to work for it. I love having a dog work for food because it makes it very easy for me to teach the dog different behaviors and things that I want them to perform. Come on, sweetie. Let's get you to stand up. Excellent. We'll do a little spin out this way. All right, chew it up. There we go. There we go. Good. Very nice. Let's see if I can get her to go to the center by going through my legs. Come on. There you go. Excellent. Back this way. Very nice. Let's give her a bunch of treats in the center position. And yes. Good. Yes. Very nice. Yes. Good. So I can continue getting her conditioned to these markers. Free. Very good. Excellent. I'm going to pick back up the leash since she's still new to the training. Yes, new to training with me. Free. And I don't have any way to control her outside of the leash right now. So I want to make sure she doesn't see a squirrel and try to take off. Very nice. Good girl. Come on, baby. We're almost done with this session as she's almost done with her food. Free. Good. Now, when you are getting your dog conditioned to the terminal marker, I do like to mark free, pause for a half second, and then move back to encourage the dog to come to me. But that's only in the beginning. Once a dog is fully conditioned, I don't have to move to get them to get the reward. I can guide her into a position, free, mark the behavior, pause for a half second to prevent overshadowing, free, and then just hand her the treat, as long as she knows that it means treat plus release. Yes, and even if I use the continuation marker, if I don't put her in a commanded position, she's not in a stay. That's another common question people have. They think, oh, if I tell the dog, yes, and yes is the dog's continuation marker, then the dog has to maintain the position. No, because the continuation marker just means the dog's going to get a reward. Again, it doesn't change their circumstances. And she dropped the piece right there, but I'm not going to let her get it right now. Very good. And you also have to be careful of pattern training. It's something we all have a tendency to do. So one of the things I do is I'll often bring a dog into the heel position. I'll have them sit, then I'll have them do it down. I have to make sure I don't do that too often, because then what will happen is the dog will come into the heel position and they'll go right into the down. So right now I just realized I was doing that. So I'm just giving her a few rewards while she maintains this position. Excellent work. Again, and we're almost out. This is the last handful. Good. Excellent. Yes. So we'll hit these markers a few more times, and I'll get a couple more of the terminal. Free. Very good. Now, she was trying to pick up a tree right there. I just didn't let her. Free. I don't like to have dogs constantly surfing the floor looking for drop treats. I want them to focus on me and not the cameraman. Come on. Come on, baby. Good girl. Free. Excellent. Nicely done. Let's get a couple more and we're all done with this session. So she's starting to get a little bit bored, so I'm actually going to finish it up right here. I'm going to guide her into the heel position. We'll do one more terminal marker, and then I'm going to give her the rest of the treats. Free. Nice job. Way to go. Excellent. Another great session.